Chubbies, we got Joe Taylor. What's going on, Joe?
What's going on,
Cheers. We don't have anything to bump it up. I couldn't get you to drink.
Yeah.
Man, you said afterwards.
Yeah, maybe later. Yeah,
Maybe later. Man, I couldn't get that. Couldn't get you to do it. Thank you for the gifts, man. And Chad, I'm going to wear your stuff, just so you know, Chad. Chad, unfortunately, you weren't here tonight, so I'm going to have to steal your shirt, Chad.
It's the price you have to pay, man.
I'll leave him a wristband.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll trade him shirts for wristbands. And these are the OG One Academy Jackson shirts. I love those.
Yeah, those are the T-shirts that whenever I first opened up the gym, of course during the pandemic and COVID and stuff, that was like our first, T-shirt design that we came up with. And I just had some extras laying around the house. I've been holding on for special occasions, and this is it. So,
this is it.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'll take it. What is, I guess I should know this. What is One Academy?
So we have 5 locations, actually.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so we have headquarters brands because it used to be Relson Gracie. It used to be Relson Gracie gyms, and
Relson Gracie.
Yep.
Okay.
He's
offspring of Hoist.
He's a second oldest son from Elio Gracie. The one that brought jiu-jitsu over. But yeah, my coach, my instructor, Professor Mendez, Carlos Mendez. He's the owner of the brand. He owns One Academy headquarters located in Athens, Ohio.
That's the headquarters.
Yeah, and then we branched off. He decided that he wanted to, have some satellites. So the first satellite that opened up was in Gallipolis, One Academy, Gallipolis under Rob Shoecraft. He's now a purple belt under Professor Mendez. Then we have One Academy Logan, One Academy Lancaster, Jackson, and things are going smooth, man.
Oh yeah. I loved the One Academy atmosphere over there. It was great.
But we have a good following. We've been open. Actually, the 27th of next month will be my 3rd year being open.
Okay.
And, it's been crazy, man. It's been like the 3 years has passed already. Has happened so fast, man. And it just seems like I opened up last week. Really.
You're busting at the seams, really.
I appreciate it.
I mean, every class I was in, I mean, you were pretty much at max capacity. I'd say your next move is going to have to be growing.
Yeah, and that's going to come. That's like one of my game plans. For within the next 5 years, hopefully, I'll be able to achieve that goal, which I'm sure I will. It just takes patience.
So, One Academy, is that one of those gyms where this Carlos Mendez? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So, does he bring down a curriculum?
Right. So, in our fundamentals jiu-jitsu classes for adults, kids. Even ages 4 through 7, then we have ages 8 through 13, then we have the adult classes. Each class has its own curriculum. So if you miss a day, let's say, for example, I'm showing a triangle chokehold, and you can't make it because you have to go to work.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all good because that class will eventually repeat itself once the curriculum starts over. It's class number 7 on the Gracie Fundamentals curriculum that we teach. And it's the triangle choke is one of my favorite chokes.
Sure.
But yeah, the curriculum just repeats itself over and over again. We have attendance cards for all of the students, no matter what age you are. Mm-hmm. It helps me keep track of your progress and also shows you where you're at as far as your training.
Sure.
And, that's also a good way to base promotions off of. I'm not saying that's the only way that I promote people is, by class attendance is also based off of performance, how you treat new people coming into the gym. Are you the mat bully, so to speak, or are you the guy opening the door for people with open arms and a smile? You know what I mean? I base promotions off all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Mat etiquette, professionalism, and, that's why our environment is so good. Mm-hmm. And I'm something I'm proud of, man. I've been doing jiu-jitsu, between 8 and 9 years now. I used to be a 911 operator. I used to play, music in the band and stuff. And I just
Where are you from, Joe?
Athens.
Athens, okay.
Yeah, I lived in Athens. I grew up in Albany.
Okay. What class?
2003. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My dad was a law enforcement officer, for Athens County Sheriff's Department.
All right.
And
I probably know him from my past.
He knows a lot of people, but he's retired, so you're good now.
Okay.
But I grew up in Albany, Ohio, and I moved to Athens, moved to Meigs, and now I'm down here.
Okay. All right. I was wondering how that whole One Academy, I've had people ask me that before, how's that work? Because I knew it was a franchise type of situation.
Right.
But I didn't know if I knew you were the instructor and you taught the classes, and I'm sure that you have your own twist that you can.
Oh yeah.
You get a little freedom there, but it's basic fundamentals brought down by some curriculum of some, which It has to be.
But that's the foundation to the house. You know, like I always tell people, you have to have a foundation before you can build on.
Yeah.
So the 30 class curriculum that we have for all the beginners, that is your foundation, so to speak.
That's your white belt, would you say?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. Yep. And even at brown belt, and I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, I'm a firm believer in the fundamentals.
Sure.
Like I know a lot of advanced techniques, don't get me wrong, but the fundamentals will never steer you in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
That's what everything's based off of. And without the fundamentals, there is no advanced techniques.
Hey, guys, huge thanks out there to everybody down at Geiger Brothers Construction. Those guys as a whole unit have just been wonderful for the Chubbies. We appreciate each and every one of you hardworking people out there that listens to us. And thank you, Geiger Brothers Construction, for all your project needs. Give those guys a call, 740-286-0800. It's in all sports.
Yeah, man, everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like Michael Jordan. You know, how many foul shots do you think he practices?
Got to learn how to dribble.
Yeah, exactly, man. You know, he got black belt level at foul shots before he went on to the 3 points.
That's absolutely, yeah. He was just a black belt in shooting, jump shots, dribbling, stealing, defense. You know, that's what makes you great at all those things. He so you would say that 30-day period, and it took me a minute to kind of figure out, explain to me the belt process of jiu-jitsu, because like I did the Muay Thai with you,
right?
And it's so like I think a lot of people get like misunderstood on belts. Like,
so you start off with a white belt.
Everybody does,
right?
They're going to give you a white belt.
Correct. Yep. Yeah. Whenever you first start
go.
Yeah. Whenever you start off, here's your white belt. Here's your gi, your rash guard.
Explain a gi.
So the gi is a weapon, so to speak.
But it's also you have to train in it.
Right.
You know?
So you have gi and you have no gi training.
Yeah.
So no gi, if you're training no gi, it's rash guard and shorts.
Rash guard meaning like tight Under Armour.
Right. Compression shirts.
Shirts. And then a gi is like your
uniform.
I call it like your Karate Kid.
Yeah.
That's how people would know what it is, though. If you don't know what it is,
exactly.
It's like what Karate Kid wore.
But with that gi, there's a lot of techniques that you could do.
Yeah, it's collared shirts.
Yeah, because it represents articles of clothing. You know, so like a gi, I can teach you how to choke someone wearing that gi. I can teach you how to break an arm wearing that gi.
Yeah.
Tangling people's body limbs up with it to use it to your advantage. And it all boils down to street defense too. So like whatever I can do in a gi, I can also do with a hoodie, a t-shirt, whatever the case is. So
more leverage.
Yeah, man. So it all boils down to self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
And of course you got the self-defense aspect of jiu-jitsu. Then you have the sport side of jiu-jitsu, and the sport side is what everybody falls in love with. Like once they understand what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But
why do you think they go to the sports side? Just competition.
Just competition, I believe. Plus it's just a lot of fun, man. You get out there. It's the closest thing to a street fight that you're ever going to get yourself into without being punched in the mouth.
And getting hurt.
Getting hurt, right? Well, you can still get hurt in competition.
Yeah.
But it's just something really cool, man. Like that, to look over, you have your coach in your corner.
Mm-hmm.
You look behind you, you got 30 of your teammates cheering you on, and you're out there just putting it all on the line. But competition isn't everything about it. You got the hobbyists that do jiu-jitsu that just come in, and they're just looking to lose some weight, maybe get in this better shape, etc. Mm-hmm. And you got the diehards that compete every weekend.
Yeah.
And I like it both. Whenever I first started training, it was just I wanted to get in shape. I was a 911 operator. I had a desk job, and I was out of shape. And
were you fighting though? Were you like doing mixed martial arts at all?
I was actually in a band. I was playing music.
Okay,
that's why I was asking. Like when I first got here, I saw the guitars on the wall and stuff. I was like, oh, okay, fellow guitar player. I like it. But
Chad listens to choral music, so it's not him.
Yeah. But I just got tired of. I don't want to say I got tired of the music scene, 'cause I didn't. I played with the same band for almost 10 years. And I just needed a change in my life, And I was sitting there at work one day at the 911 dispatch center in Athens County, and which is a completely different topic. But it's like you're surrounded by a big spaceship. You got 7 computer screens around you. You got all these foot pedals and stuff that you have to talk on the radio. And I was just sitting there, and it was like right after we did a gig, and I was like, man, like it's time to move on. It's time to find something different to do.
Yeah.
And because at the time, band practice, just to travel back and forth, it was just an expense in itself. And, travel an hour.
A night that you didn't have,
Yeah, man. Time away from the house. By the time you get home, you're exhausted. And, you know,
that band stuff's work.
It is, man. A lot of people that has never done it, they don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as just grabbing a guitar and strapping it on.
No, that's the fun part.
Yeah. You know, it's the promoting, you know, the show.
Now it's all about the grind of the
man.
The Facebook post, the Instagram post,
exactly
learning the new songs,
But I just needed a change, man. And I was sitting there at work one day, and I was like, it's time to do something different. That night, I got off work at 3 p.m. that day, and my instructor, Carlos, he had a white Jeep Wrangler, and it had all these Relson Gracie Jiu Jitsu stickers all over this thing. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that Jiu Jitsu is in Athens County. I was like, well, I wonder how long this has been going. Mm-hmm. And it was just one thought, and I never thought of it again. The very next day, I seen that Jeep. I kid you not. I seen that Jeep like 15 different times throughout Athens County in places that I never would have expected to even seen that Jeep.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, if that's not a sign, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna call this guy. So I took a picture of his Jeep because it had his stickers and stuff like that on it, and I hit him up. I called him up the next day, and I scheduled my trial period. And he's like, yeah, go ahead, come on in. And me, I'm a bigger guy, and I was completely out of shape. I got to the gym, did my first class, which was class number 7, the triangle. I was always, mesmerized by that chokehold, seeing Anderson Silva utilize it in the UFC off his back, just crushing people with it. And it's like, I don't understand what's happening, but I do understand he's, whooping ass with this chokehold.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it instantly, man. And I never looked back. My first class, I was hooked, and the rest is history. And I've met so many good people through it. But it's just crazy the way it all worked out. So I did my trial class. The next day at work, I'm sitting there at the console, and I'm like, well, I got a choice to make, music or jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu's local, music's an hour away. I'm getting kind of burnt out on the grind. It's time for a change. And, man, I remember sitting there texting, in our group chat that we had for the band, just, telling everybody, hey, just let you guys know, like, I respect and love you. I'm going to miss you, but it's time for me to move on.
Yeah.
And because I've always been a martial artist. I started boxing at a young age.
You went to Sam's, didn't you?
Yeah, Sam Jones in Gloucester, Ohio.
Yeah.
Yep. Got a lot of respect for that man. Mm-hmm. And I actually had a secondary coach, too, Larry Craycraft. He actually has a gym out in Wilkesville, Ohio.
Okay.
And Larry, I always told people I would go to Larry's to learn technique, and I would go to Sam's to learn how to take a punch. Because, Larry had a smaller group pretty much. So I would sit there and learn technique off of Larry, and I would do all my hard sparring in Gloucester. So I would learn technique from Larry and go down to Sam's to get smacked around a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was a good process though, man. And like the transition from the band scene to to the grappling scene, I'll never forget it. Like my first class, I was kind of nervous. I was like, man, I'm out of shape. I haven't done anything like this in forever. At the time I was 30, 31, 32. And I was like, man, like, what are you even thinking about doing this for? Mm-hmm. Like, your time's gone. And that's wrong. So if you have that train of thought, it's false.
Oh,
like if you want it bad enough, you can achieve anything, and it's kind of funny, there's a saying in jiu-jitsu, sometimes you have to learn to become the nail in order to become the hammer, and sometimes you're just a piece of wood that the nail is being driven into. Mm-hmm. The first time I ever rolled, I'll never forget it. It was a guy that was a lot smaller than me. And then going into this roll, I don't want to say a big ego, but it was just kind of like, man, this guy's smaller than me. I'm going to crush this dude. Man, that was not the case. This dude was on me like a spider monkey. I couldn't get him off of me. He used one chokehold. It's called an Ezekiel choke. And he used that one choke on me for 5 straight minutes. And he submitted me like 15 times in a 5-minute roll. And I left that room that day humbled. Like I drove home in my truck, windows rolled down, the radio was turned off completely, just wondering like, what in the hell
just happened
to me.
Yeah.
Like I outweighed this guy by 200 pounds easy. Like I should have smashed this guy. I couldn't. I got hooked instantly. I was like, man, like if I'm that big and I couldn't defend myself against a guy that small, what do you think is going to happen against a guy my own size that's training?
Chubby's, hey, we all know this guy. All the folks over at AP Prep, we cannot thank you enough. Look those guys up at apprep.info. We get asked all the time, hey, what happens? How do you get over there? Hey, that's how you do it. You get on apprep.info, you look them up, you set a time for your kid's assessment. They schedule a time, you bring your kid over there, boom, it's done. They get you right in the schedule. And hey, for all you adults, you just show up on Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday night at 5:30, and they got their boxing classes. It's $10, or you can join by the month. So look them up at apprep.info.
Mm-hmm. I better start learning how to grapple. And I never looked back, man. I signed a 2-year contract, and the rest, like I said, the rest is history, man. And I've never stopped training since.
So you start training in the Athens gym.
Yep.
Okay. So you work your way up through the belt system, just kind of become part of the gym, and then they're like, hey, Joe, you interested in going to Jackson?
Well, Carlos and I, we always have a really good friendship, and we were talking one day, and we were just shooting the crap on the way to a tournament, and I was like, man, if there's ever a time frame to where I can open up my own gym, I wouldn't mind doing it. Mm-hmm. And because at the time, up to that point, it was just like it wasn't even a thought. I just enjoyed coming to class, being a student, helping out.
What were you doing for work then?
Dispatch.
Still dispatch.
Yeah, I was dispatching and training jiu-jitsu 3 days or 3 times a day, 6 days a week. I pretty much lived on the mat. Yeah. At the time, I was single, no kids, and so my whole life was go to work and train.
Yeah,
and that was it. I'll never. We were doing an open mat. Open mat is just an hour or 2 of sparring. Mm-hmm. No class, just rolling. And I sat down on the wall with Carlos, and I was just drenched in sweat. And he's like, hey, I want to talk to you a little bit. I was like, okay. At first I thought, man, I'm like, what'd I do? Like, did I mess up? Did I roll too hard with somebody? And he was like, hey, what do you think about opening up a gym? And keep in mind, this is like 1.5 years, 2 years, like after the original conversation we had in his Jeep headed to a tournament. And I was like, yeah, I'm interested, man. And I was like, because at the time I was living in Meigs County, and I was really close to Parkersburg. Uh-huh. And I was going to open up one academy, Jackson, but it was going to be one academy, Parkersburg, because I was so close to the West Virginia line. It just made sense. Yeah. But there was already a jiu-jitsu academy in Parkersburg. That's kind of like a mutual respect thing. You don't want to open up a gym where the gym's already at. I don't want to be taking food off someone else's table. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Jackson County didn't have an academy. There used to be a jiu-jitsu academy here a long time ago called J3A, I believe. And
who was that?
Matt Crabtree is the one that was running. He was a blue belt. And Matt's a black belt now. He trains over at Ohio Combat Sports, I believe. I think, Matt, if you're watching this, if I just messed that gym's name up, that's my bad. But he's a super good dude. He's huge.
I've heard the name.
Yeah, he's super humble.
Wellston?
I think he lives in MacArthur, I believe, but he travels to Columbus to train.
Okay.
But yeah, I was going to open up a gym in Parkersburg, and Carlos was like, "No, let's not do that, man. Let's find a different location." And Jackson, it just happened to be Jackson, man. And I will always forever be grateful for the community in Jackson County, Ohio, man, because everybody greeted me with open arms. Mm-hmm. I told Carlos, I was like, man, like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be all in. Like, I'm quitting my job, I'm selling my house, and I'm moving. And he's like, we'll start getting a game plan together because I want you to run the Jackson branch. And I was like, perfect. So that night, I called up my sister and my brother-in-law, Jeremy. He'll also train with me on the mats. And, I was like, hey, I got this idea. How would you guys feel about me living with you for 12 months after I sell my home? That way, I can just go ahead and get down there, get the gym opened up, and then slowly get back up on my feet. Mm-hmm. And, so I put, I was working dispatch, and I was teaching down in Jackson part-time. I was doing just a few classes a week. And, one day, they were like, hey, we're going to have you work overtime. And I was like, oh, I don't want to work overtime. I've already worked overtime. I'm at the bottom of the rotation list. You need to find somebody else. Because at the time I was a full-time dispatcher, and we had a rotation list. Yeah. And they were like, well, you're being forced. You got to figure it out. I was like, okay, I quit. Come 1,500 hours. That's my last shift. I'm done. And everyone's like, whoa, like, what are you thinking, man? Like, you're crazy. Like, you're going to throw away everything that you've worked for the last 10, 11 years at this job for maybe. Because at the time, I was teaching these part-time classes in a tiny garage, like a small garage during the pandemic, during COVID-19, during the heat of it. And everyone thought I was nuts.
Oh, that was a garage down on Huron.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I remember.
Exactly where it's at.
Yeah.
And everyone, like I was working with, like, man, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you're leaving this career. You're making over $30 an hour.
Yeah, I forgot what you
pension,
did.
401, all that stuff. You're leaving it, throwing it all away for a maybe. I was like, yep, gonna do it. I posted my house for sale, and it sold within 24 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, like, everything's falling into place. I'm just gonna keep following.
That was kind of when I met you right there.
Yeah, man. And I just done it. I full sent it.
Mm-hmm.
And, people was making fun of me. Like, oh, you're stupid. You're crazy. This is not going to work out. I was like, well, one thing's for sure. I'm not going to, be on my deathbed whenever I'm wondering what if, whenever I get, like, old enough. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to have that thought. I'm going to full send it.
Yeah.
It's either going to work or it's going to fail. And
only way to go at it.
And at this time, brother, I'm already all in.
Yeah.
I had no other option but to make this work.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Oh, yeah,
and here we are 3 years later, 100+ students, fixing to get my black belt within the next 2-3 years. And, I can't complain, man.
Got a full team of competitors.
Yeah, man. I got a good group of people too, man. Like,
oh, you do. Getting back to, like, the sport of jiu-jitsu, there's lots of things that I think are helping that whole sport right now. I mean, MMA is becoming just a monster.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's mainstream.
It's mainstream now. I don't know if you would say Dana White did that or Conor McGregor did that or Francis Ngannou. I mean, there's a whole collective group of people that are just making that sport just insane. And then, but you've also got the ability for these children to be doing it, and I mean, Gibson, we got into baseball. I mean, kids are tough because there's so much, right?
Right. They have a lot of things they want to get done.
They have a lot. Yeah. During these school years, especially, there's only so many sports you can do in these young years, that are organized, where some of these sports, jiu-jitsu is one of them. And that's what I love about it. Like, and I told Gibson, I was like, Gibson, hey, now okay, you know what it is a little bit. Okay. You got your feet wet. You can always just keep going back.
Yeah, man.
And going back. But if you've already got that first start out of your system. You know what it is now. And I mean, it's just like boxing to me or Muay Thai. I can always go back into that gym and have an idea.
Right.
And at least know gym etiquette. And just
you're always gonna be welcome back with open arms. Too.
Absolutely.
Like, I understand life happens.
Yeah, it's just tough. It's tough to get in there. But that jiu-jitsu, I think that's going to help just a lot of young kids. Just, I don't want to get into the whole bullying thing. I mean, let's talk about that for a second, though. Okay. How do you see that happening with, like, how do you prevent your kids, okay, from, like, let's say going to school and putting some asshole in an arm bar? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, because like, if that would have been me and you'd have been teaching me that at 12 years old, I'd have been like, all right, I don't like that guy. Yep. So he's probably going in an arm bar today.
So I always, so as soon as, like, because I start kids off at age 4.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So for you guys that don't know,
you don't have to start them at 4, but you can start them at 4.
Right, right. That's just the youngest I accept is age 4. So ages 4 through 7, I teach them just the basic fundamentals of control. They don't even learn how to break arms or chokeholds until they reach age 8. And then once they reach age 8, they get into, like, the next group setting.
So you're saying, like, ages 4 to 7, they're just kind of rolling around, learning how to use their body.
Yeah. Learning how to, like, if a bully's on top of them, trying to punch them or choke them, how to do a trap and roll technique to reverse the position. So now they're on top of the
get
bully.
out.
Yeah. And we play games. We make it, like, really, really fun for them too. But for your question though, I always talk about the 3 T's of jiu-jitsu. Talk, tell, tackle. That's what I teach them. First you should probably just try to use your words and talk to the bully. Like, hey man, I don't like the way you're treating me. Leave my friend alone. Whatever the case may be. Use your, be vocal about it.
Yep.
If that doesn't work, tell someone. Tell a teacher, grandma, me. Let me know. I'll tell your parents, etc. Some adult that's around. talk, tell, and then the last one's tackle. But always tell them, I was like, hey, sometimes you have to teach the bully, to be a better person.
Yeah.
But just because you know jiu-jitsu doesn't mean you have to use jiu-jitsu to hurt them.
Have you had any parents come to your class and be like, hey, got a problem?
Like with your kids at school?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And, they asked me, like, what should I do? I said, well, did you do the first 2 T's, talk, tell? Like, yeah, well, the last one. Sometimes you just got to, bully the bully a little bit.
Yeah.
And unfortunately.
Have you ever had any of them say, hey, he went to school and he did this? Or
Yeah.
And it was bad.
It wasn't bad. Did the kid get in trouble? Yeah. Now, I would never say just go to school and be that person. I would always preach about trying to avoid the conflict at all costs. But you know how it is, man. Sometimes,
Hey, man, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You throw 300 kids in a building.
Yep.
And I mean,
you're gonna have a few bad apples.
You got to have too many kids having bad days. Too many kids got bad home life.
Right.
I mean, it's just bound to happen. And I mean, unfortunately, they're like vultures. And if one of them sees that you'll take
weak, if they feel like you're weak, it's just like a pack of coyotes.
You're better off to do it and lose.
Yeah.
But do it.
Yeah, because you're gonna gain respect regardless.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't ever want to, just tell the kids, like, just go to school and handle it. You know what I mean? Like, always try to, like, just first avoid the situation. If you see, little Junior coming down the hallway and, Junior has a bad rep of being that kid, stay away from him and walk the other direction.
Yeah.
If he is starting to pick on you, tell him to leave you alone, tell on him. And if he still continues to do so and, teachers can't resolve the conflict, then it's up to you, man. Like,
yeah.
You want to continue to be bullied by this kid, or would you rather shoot a double leg on him, mount him, and just hold him in there?
Yeah, yeah, and just laugh at his face.
Yeah, I had one kid that was getting picked on, and I'm not going to name drop by
any
means.
Don't.
I don't want to be that guy, but he hit tossed. He hit tossed his bully, and needless to say, the bully no longer bullies him.
Yeah,
he hit a clean hip toss on him, and the rest was history with it.
Yeah,
and I don't want to say I'm proud, but I am kind of proud.
Sure,
like, you should be able to take up for yourself.
Absolutely.
Because life is tough as it is, man. Like life.
Now, if two kids, here's the thing: 2 guys on the playground that are playing basketball and they have a disagreement and they throw down. That's a little bit different. That's just 2 kids with 2 tempers and 2. Hopefully there was some respect gained there and everybody shakes hands and goes on. But that bullying situation's different, and nobody should have to deal with that.
Exactly. And it's something that you deal with your whole life, unfortunately. Unless you're older, you know what I mean? By the time you are, mid-20s, our age, you should even be doing that stuff.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite things, though, man, from teaching any age, from age 4 to age 60, is seeing the confidence change. Like you see a kid come in with no confidence. He has no friends,
or a guy,
or female, or whoever. They walk in there, their head down, they're very shy. Because the hardest part about training is just getting up off the couch. Just swallowing that pride a little bit, stepping outside your comfort zone, stepping into my gym and realizing you're still going to be okay, man. Like you're going to meet really good people. Because I don't let bad people train in my gym.
Yeah.
Like if I even get a hint of a red flag, I'll ship you out the door. Because I don't want red flags in my gym. Like I want good, humble people that has one goal, and that's just to help each other out and get better.
Yep.
That's what it should be about.
Yep.
And there's a lot of gyms. Like whenever I was growing up, you got those gyms that you got the mat bully, so to speak.
Alpha dog.
Yeah. And I don't want that. I don't want that type of environment.
No, them days is kind of over though. As a whole.
I would hope so.
You don't see them much.
But just a confidence change, man. Like I've seen grown men, with no confidence come in, and within 6 months they're a completely different person. Same thing with a kid. I've seen little kids come in that are between ages 4 and 7 come in and they're very, very shy. And now you walk in there, as soon as they get in, they run up to me, give me a high five, a fist bump, a big hug, or they just run up, fake a hug, and they shoot a double leg on.
Yeah. It's always fun to take that to coach.
Yeah, man. And it just makes me happy just seeing that growth. And knowing in my heart that I'm doing something really, really good for the community.
Well, you can see it in a lot of these guys. They go from, I don't want to say scared, But that confidence that you talk about, it just allows them now to just relax.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know, and not be so on pins and needles so much, not be worried or not thinking that they have to prove something or something. They can just relax. They can go about their day, and they're not really worried about anything.
And you know for a fact that if something like were to pop off,
they're fine.
It's just another day in the gym.
Yeah.
Only you don't have mats to protect your kneecaps. You got gravel or wherever the case is, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's just another day in the office for us. But you know, just seeing like the growth of our gym, it just makes me happy. You know,
I haven't got a chance to like see a trained guy versus like an untrained guy for a while, maybe ever that I know of. You know, like I don't go to bars or anything much anymore.
Yeah,
So I haven't really seen it. But I mean. And I don't really want to, but I'm just saying, like, it would be kind of funny. And I mean, I know there's people out there that are thinking, yeah, whatever, I see red. No, listen.
They see red, and then they wake up. That's the way it usually happens.
I think I was watching Rogan, and they were like, if you're really, if you can just stand there for 20 seconds, you know, you're probably going to win.
Yeah, I had so like whenever I was growing up, you know, like my first art that I ever became with was boxing.
Oh yeah, I still love boxing.
And I had a childhood friend of mine that got me into it.
Who was it?
Ricky. His name is Ricky Steinmetz. You know, I was
around. I was surprised you and I never crossed paths. I was in that area thick back in.
But you know, his dad got me into it, and you know, like go back to like the untrained ordeal was like, you know, his dad doesn't know nothing about grappling. He's a hell of a scrapper. You know, he could throw hands. But as far as grappling is concerned, like he's a fish out of water.
Yeah.
And he told me one day, you know, he was drinking, of course, and you know, he was like, just put me in the worst position and let's just start from there. I was like, you don't want that. And I just got my blue belt, you know, so I'm about 2.5 years in. Just got my blue belt or whatever, and I'm like, you know, you don't want that. He goes, what's the worst position? I said, me on your back. I said, because you can't punch me or anything. He goes, well, go ahead and take my back. I'm like, you don't want to do that. I'm like, you're not going to have a chance. And you know, I wasn't trying to be cocky or anything. I was just being real. You know, being real. I was like, because you're not. You know, you're under the influence of alcohol. You got a blue belt on your back. Like the fight's already over before it starts.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a fight, so don't take it wrong.
Sure. Yeah.
It was just a friendly. Yeah. A friendly little roll in the living room with carpet, so to speak. And, you know, unfortunately, his dad vomited all over the place, all over the carpet. His face ended up in his own vomit. And
drunk is never good.
Yeah, and, you know, like after I put him in a rear naked choke, and that's what caused the vomit to take place.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I put him in a tight rear naked chokehold.
Got it out of him.
He wouldn't tap.
Oh, squeezed him to death.
I didn't choke him unconscious, but I could feel it about ready to happen, and then I let go, and then that's when
come out.
Yeah,
he regurgitated.
Yeah, and it's just like I didn't want to though. I really didn't want to, but I should have said no. But deep down, it's kind of like I remember whenever I was 10, 11, 12, you punched me in my face. So
yeah, here you go.
Here's a little bit of payback 20 years later.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I think it's great exercise. I mean, it's a
hell of a workout, man.
It's a hell of a workout. I enjoyed the Muay Thai. I like the stand-up stuff more than I did the kind of roll around, which, you know, that's the thing about, you know, your gym is you can, you know, there's I don't want to say several disciplines because it is a jiu-jitsu gym, but I mean, you guys did the Muay Thai there. You're still doing Muay Thai.
Right.
So, I mean, it's kind of, you can, whenever you, so I don't think a lot of people understand, and I know I didn't, and I kind of knew a decent amount about your gym, but so you join by the month, and then that, you're just kind of, you're allowed to do whatever that gym does.
Yeah, 100%. You have full access to the gym.
Hey, Chubbies, when was the last time you had somebody take a look at your life insurance? It's something that nobody likes to talk about. But one thing I know about Pudge is he's coming to your funeral. You might as well have him show up with a check and take care of those loved ones. That's the time when they need it the most. He's writing it every day. Come have that conversation with him and get it done. And by the way, if you own a business and you haven't let Pudge quote your commercial insurance, you're making a mistake. Let him check it out. Make sure you got proper coverage. for the best value on the market. Gillum Insurance for all your insurance needs, 740-395-0190.
But yeah, you have full access to the gym. So if you decide to become a member, you know, I bring you in. You can sign some waivers and stuff before you even hit the mats, and you know, I'll put you like your membership on auto pay for you, and your membership will just come out automatically each month, so that way you don't have to worry about it. And then you know, at that point, you have full access to all the jiu-jitsu classes that I offer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I offer 6 a.m. classes every day of the week. I offer, you know, 6 p.m. classes every day of the week, advanced classes,
Mm-hmm.
you know, 3 days a week, open mats on Saturday. I got, you know, adult Muay Thai classes Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. I got kids Muay Thai
Jason's still
Tuesdays.
teaching Muay Thai.
Yeah, man. He's a good dude, too.
Mhm.
I got a lot of respect for that, man.
Mm-hmm. What's his last name?
Fitzhugh.
Yeah.
He came from Florida. He's the Muay Thai instructor down at the gym. He moved down here with his wife and his family and everything, and he hit me up. And he fell in love with the gym like immediately.
Mhm.
He's like, man, this is the best gym I've ever been part of. And he's trained at a lot of places. So
Yeah, he was in Strike Force or something, wasn't he?
for I can't remember.
He was in one of them.
But you know, for him to come, you know, all the way down here from Florida and be like, man, you got the best gym I've ever trained at. That meant a lot to me.
Sure.
It's like, wow, okay, here's a guy. He's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's trained all over the globe pretty much. And he claims One Academy Jackson as his home front now.
Yeah.
And now he's my Muay Thai coach, you
Yeah.
know, and, you know, the Muay Thai program's growing. And eventually, you know, it's going to grow and grow and grow, just like jiu-jitsu is. You know, it's a growth process, you know.
Well,
what I
it's
mean?
it's another one of those things. It's jiu-jitsu got hot, you know. You heard, you know, the Relson Gracie stuff that got hot through MMA, and now you're starting to hear Muay Thai, you know. And I think it's just a matter of once people kind of figure out what these disciplines are. You're not seeing as much like Taekwondo and karate.
Yeah.
Even though they still offer that stuff around here, but you're not seeing it. Like my nephew does Taekwondo, and my dad's been going to some of his stuff, like his things, and like Dad calls it. It's more of like and I don't mean this bad. Like I think it's all good, you know. Like now I watched him, and what I saw was he learned how to. He can throw a beautiful. His rear kicks are great. You know, he's got a nice front kick. Like if Taekwondo, karate, I think that those would be great, like foundation for these mixed martial arts if you wanted to go, you know, at another level. Like they taught him those, but Dad said, like, you know, as far as his competitions, it's more of like a dance. Like you memorize these moves and that's about it.
Like the whole sequence.
Yeah, and then, but I mean, he's already got his black belt, and it's like, how's that, you know, happen?
I think if you're going to be a cage fighter, I'm not. I have no desire to be.
Mm-hmm.
But
you fight.
Yeah, I spar. I don't. You're not going to see me in a boxing ring in a competition. You'll see me on a competition jiu-jitsu scene 100%. But like my days of wanting to get punched in the face really hard is over. But I still like to get dirty a little bit. I like to spar, you know, throw hands every once in a while, but in a friendly way.
Yeah,
a friendly, controlled environment
with a ref.
Yeah. But like, if you're going to be a cage fighter, I think there's 3 arts that would help you dominate.
Boxing, Muay Thai, and Jiu-Jitsu.
Nope. Wrestling, Jiu-Jitsu, and Muay Thai.
Wrestling.
Yep.
Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai.
100%. You know, I've rolled against elite, top-notch wrestlers, and you know, like they're hard to, you know, you got your hands full a little bit.
Yeah.
You go up against a D1 wrestler, and you don't have that much experience, you're going to get smoked. Unless you know a little bit of jiu-jitsu, then you have a chance.
Well, the difference is you can work off your back.
Exactly. And the wrestlers, they're trained not to be on their back because the pin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the biggest mistake wrestlers make against jiu-jitsu people was they give up their back. Jiu-jitsu, I'll lay on the ground on my back and be fine.
You want to be on your back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a guard player. You know, do I like to be on top of the roll or of the match? Yeah. But
way more energy.
yeah, I just like laying on my back and playing guard, man. It's just fun. I find it really fun. Now, in a street fight, I'm not playing guard. I'm going to shoot a double on you or a hip toss or whatever the case is, and I'm going to try to get top mount, top side control. I don't want to be on my back in a street fight because I don't know if you have a gun. I don't know if you have a knife. I don't know if your buddy's around the corner.
Yeah.
The last place I want to be in a street fight is on my back with you and my guard and your friend coming. You know what
Well,
I
that's
mean?
originally how I got into like the boxing and the Muay Thai. I had the bar, and there was a couple situations that I was there not, I won't say by myself, but I pretty much was. I mean, I might have had a friend or two in the place, but I just didn't want to get killed.
Yeah. People get stupid. Man.
Yeah, they get stupid. And I was like, well, I'm going to go back and I'm going to learn some stuff. And I, the numero uno rule was stay off the ground. Yeah. In a bar fight. And so that's why I started, working on the boxing, working on the Muay Thai, and kickboxing, that type of stuff. But then the jiu-jitsu world has, I just never did get into that. But if you were looking to subdue, that's your game.
Jiu-jitsu is just a lot of fun, man. Like I can go on for the next 8 hours talking about it.
Yeah.
Because I made up with it.
Yeah.
It's what I do full time for a career. That is my job. I'm a full time jiu-jitsu instructor, and it's just. But
it's about leverage. It's just that's what people. I think they think it's just a bunch of guys grabbing each other and rolling around. Like you can literally, if you know how to do it, you can take one hand and get the right leverage and kick a guy off of you.
Exactly.
And I mean, it's unbelievable geometry and physics. I mean,
and what I like the most though is like, when you get the people that come into the gym with like big egos, like for example, like the story I told you, like my first experience rolling, I was one of the biggest dudes in the gym, and they paired me up with one of the smallest dudes that they had in the gym, and he whipped my ass, for 5 straight minutes. It's a very humbling experience. So if you got a guy that can deadlift 400 or 500 pounds, and bench whatever, and he comes into the gym, he's like, and he has that train of thought. And I find the smallest guy in the room that I know that could handle his own, and I put him up against him. It's a humbling experience, man. It's like, it doesn't matter how much you can bench, don't matter how much you can deadlift. Everyone has to have air.
Yeah. Today was a big test of that with that submarine.
Yeah.
They gotta have air.
Isn't that crazy, man? I didn't even hear about that until it was like pretty much over with, because I don't watch the news. Like I try to stay away from all that stuff because it's all negative stuff, man.
Yeah.
I try to live a positive life, and but that's just wild, man. The whole submarine thing.
Why do you care to go see the Titanic?
Yeah, like what? Look up on YouTube.
Yeah, it's there.
You're gonna get a better view anyhow.
That's right. I'm with you. Now I know you've helped out a lot of our buddies, man. Lusk, Jolly.
Dave's a good dude.
Yeah, Dave's great. Brian Jolly. Lusk has changed his life. Like Lusk was
he's a big dude, man.
Yeah, he is. Like Lusk has changed his whole body. Just whole body dynamic. I mean, he was a big dude, before, but not. He was just a husky guy.
What's funny about Dave is you look at Dave. If you don't know Dave, just by looking at him, you're like, man, he's very intimidating. He doesn't look like the type of person you just want to approach and have a conversation with. He's tatted up.
He's a bad man.
He's jacked.
Dave's a bad man.
But he's one of the most coolest, friendliest people you'll come across. He's got he's a good man. He's got he's just a very good person, man. I got nothing but good things to say.
I love it when Dave gets cranked up on something because it's like, he's just going to take over. It wouldn't surprise me if he isn't mowing earth before it's all said and done. I mean, when that guy gets going, buddy just goes.
Like his mowing business, man, it blew up. Yeah,
his jiu-jitsu. He wanted to start lifting weights. He's now, next thing you know, he's powerlifting. He wants to start doing jiu-jitsu. Now he's what, a purple?
No, he's blue.
Blue.
Yep.
I mean, he's an animal. I mean, the guy just gets after it. He's never got into anything crazy. He's never drank crazy. He's always just took care of himself.
He's a humble guy too.
Yeah. He's just got those Appalachian, what do I want to call, roots, I guess. Just being, down home, I guess.
I'll tell you what's funny too about like how the size of Dave. Like whenever I first started teaching classes down in Jackson, I don't know if there's something in the water down in Jackson County, but man, it seems like every person that comes to anything like the gym, there's big dudes, man. Like in Athens at HQ, there's 1 or 2 or 3 of us that are big guys. But like as soon as I started teaching classes in Jackson, like I look on the wall, it's filled full of adults, and it's like, man, it's like
they're all big guys.
They're all big, man. Like, what do you guys eat down there?
You ever been to Kansas? Dude, I went to a Royals game a couple years ago, and I mean, I'm decent size, right? Okay, I mean, I'm average, bigger than average, but average. But they just make me look like a midget. Everybody there was like 6'3", 6'4", 270, 280, and I'm like, my God. I mean, this huge corn-fed, just big people. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of big people. Athens always been a hot zone on the fighting.
It's a college town.
It's college town. I mean, you go hang out in Athens very long, you're gonna fight.
Yep, 100%. That's why I stay away from it, man.
You about have to. I mean, I've been in a bunch of them over there, man, and I mean, especially if you're not from there.
Yep.
That's just it's just gonna happen.
I've only been in one fight at the bars in Athens, but I was a lot younger, though, and it was at the Red Brick. I don't even know if the Red Brick's still a thing because the only time I'm ever in Athens County is to train.
Yeah.
And that's usually on Thursday nights.
It's still there.
But that was the last, bar fight I was in.
Yeah.
I prefer just to stay away from that.
Stay away from that. Yeah.
Nothing good's going to come.
Nope.
You don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know who's in there that's had a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who's armed, who's not armed. I don't have to constantly feel like I have to do this constantly. Look over my shoulder. I don't like that feeling.
Yeah. No, there's nothing good. I'm past that stage of life.
I'd rather just sit at the house.
Me too.
Go to work, come home.
Build a fire.
Exactly. Have a drink, have my comfort, around my friends, family.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go out, I'll go out to dinner and stuff like that, have a drink at a B-Dubs or something like that, and then I'm going right back to the house.
Yeah.
Hey, Chubbies, how many points do you have on the McDonald's app? We all know and love the McDonald's app, and we want to thank Brad and Sarah Munn for being a great sponsor of our show and of our communities here in Jackson, Oak Hill, Wellston, and MacArthur. McDonald's. Check them out.
Well, how can they look you up, man?
So, we got Facebook, we got Instagram. My phone number's on both pages.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
located down on Gay Street.
Yep, 126 Gay Street is located right beside the Iron City Barbell.
Yep.
Quick shout out though, Jamie and Jenny Ball. Whenever I first brought jiu-jitsu to Jackson, I didn't know where I was going to be at. I found Iron City. I hit them up, pitched them the idea of it, and they gave me, they trusted me.
Gave you a house.
Yeah, man. So huge shout out to Jamie and Jenny, amazing people. If you guys are interested in lifting weights, Iron City Barbell, it's right there beside One Academy Jackson. And, of course, if you want Muay Thai training, jiu-jitsu training, come see me. We got nothing but good people down there, man. And, the toughest choice that you're going to make as a human or as an adult or whatever is this. Getting off the couch, man.
Yeah, that's the toughest thing.
Step out of your comfort zone, guys. There's no growth living in a comfort zone.
No.
Step out of it.
And it doesn't matter how old you are.
Yeah, man. I'm doing, a free 10-day trial period. I used to charge $10. I used to call it the 10 for 10 deal, 10 classes for $10 to get your feet wet. But the last few months, I've been waiving the $10 fee, man. Just I want people to come in, experience what we have to offer them, have a good time.
Yep.
You're not going to get hurt. You're going to learn Gracie Jiu Jitsu. I'm a brown belt under Carlos, who's a black belt under Professor Giesler, who's a black belt under Relson Gracie himself.
Yeah.
So the family tree is we're right there at the tippy top.
Yeah, you're right there. And you have those guys that there's seminars.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we have Matt Brown.
It's like a family. You're almost joining you're kind of joining a club, really.
You really are, man. But it's a really good club. You know what I mean? I know for a fact with all the people that we have, it could be 4 o'clock in the morning. If I'm in dire need of help, maybe I'm broke down the highway.
Oh, yeah. You're calling one of your boys.
I can call any of those students of mine.
Yeah.
They have my back and vice versa. If they need me, they know for a fact I'll be there for them. And that's what it should be about. With me.
I haven't been there in 3 months, and I feel like I could do that.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I got your back 24/7.
Yeah.
That's what separates my gym from everybody else's, though. With my gym, you're not just a number.
Yeah.
Your family, your teammate, and that's what makes our gym so good, man. It's such a welcoming environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know how it is to be nervous because whenever I first started, I was extremely nervous, man. I'll be honest. I was so out of shape when I first started training, I puked for 14 days. I did. I was so out of shape because I didn't do anything besides sit around on my ass at the console and play guitar.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm gaining weight. I need to get in better shape.
Yeah.
Full send it. And eventually the vomiting stopped and I got better.
You start getting better.
But we got a lot of good people that train there, man.
Oh,
and,
yeah, you do.
We have a lot of good things to offer for the community. And, one thing I like the most about training, though, man, is no matter what type of day you have had, you could have the worst day. Maybe you just broke up with your wife, girlfriend, you just lost your
sucks.
job,
Yeah.
whatever the case is, man. For that 60-minute time frame when you're in my gym,
phone's off.
Everything's out the window.
Yeah.
You're focused on the present.
Yep.
You can't focus on your bad day at work when I'm on your back trying to choke you.
Yeah, that's right.
You
That's
know
right.
what I mean? And vice versa. I can't think of a bad day I had if you're
Yeah.
trying to, switch kick me in my ribs.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
But we have nothing but amazing people there, like Marty Jacobs, Marco. You got Brad Profit. Jeremy Kitchen. I knew you had Kitchen on the podcast several months ago.
Yep.
And I could go on and on. My sister, my brother-in-law. Just amazing people. And I'm blessed.
Yeah. And I would encourage too, if they are coming in, maybe even bring their own partner. They don't have to bring somebody, but somebody that they're going to learn with.
Right. Well, usually what I'll do too is if someone doesn't bring like
A buddy,
I'll make sure I partner them up with one of my blue belts.
Yeah.
Or whoever the highest ranking student is in the gym that day. Like, hey, Budge's here. It's his first class.
Yep.
You're gonna be working with him today.
Yep.
Because I know you're gonna be in good hands with this student.
Yeah.
They understand mat etiquette. Don't come into the gym with a huge ego thinking you're going to smash everybody. That's not what it's about.
Yep.
And if that's what you think it's about, it's probably the wrong gym
And
for you.
that blue belt will humble you up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and they'll do it nicely.
Not even a blue belt. I got some
White belts that
gnarly white belts.
Yeah, yeah.
I got a guy named Frank Lasota.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Frank.
Yeah, I know Frank.
He's little, right? No offense, Frankie.
Yeah.
But he's a smaller guy. I mean, he's like 120 pounds, 125 pounds. He just got his blue belt, and he is a savage.
Yeah.
So like whenever I get these dudes that are coming in, which has not happened pretty much since I opened. If you come in with a huge ego and you think you're going to be the biggest, baddest guy in the gym, you got a point to prove. You're number one. That's the biggest mistake you can make. You don't want to walk into that jiu-jitsu academy trying to prove a point. There's no point to be proven. Like, just come in, have a good time, man. Like, meet the good people that are here and have a good
Get you some exercise, learn some technique.
But every once in a while, you get you get one of them apples that come in, and then you have to humble them a little bit. Like I always tell them, like, if you got to humble somebody, don't submit them a whole bunch. Tap
You can come back.
Tap them once or twice.
We're here to learn.
But it is frustrating if you could squat X amount of weight, but you can't get a 125-pound man off of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a mind game. And you leave, you're like, what in the hell is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's always growth.
Absolutely.
I'm learning new techniques every day. I'm teaching new techniques every day. And we just have a really good time, man.
Yeah. I completely agree. What I've seen down there, it's awesome.
I appreciate it, man.
Well, look him up, guys. One Academy, Joe Taylor. Send him lots of Facebook messages. He loves
lots of them.
So,
my phone's busy enough as it is.
That's right. Yeah. I'll get. Here's his cell phone number. Text him if he doesn't text back within 5 minutes. Message him on Facebook now.
But you guys got. If you guys are interested in training, hit me up.
Yeah, hit him up.
My phone number is all over the social media pages. You can't miss it. One Academy Jackson on Facebook. One Academy Jackson on Instagram. Of course, the gym's 126 Gay Street in Jackson. We're located beside Iron City.
You don't have a phone
Barbell.
number down there, though, do you?
What's that?
Probably don't have a phone down there, do you?
What, at the business? No, I just use my cell phone for everything.
Yeah. Message page.
Yeah, message the page. Or if you want to text me, that's cool too.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Yeah, or Instagram, message Instagram, either one. It's easy.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, it's all over the social media pages, guys. And come in, get your free 10 classes in, get your feet wet, quit being nervous. A lot of people. The toughest decision you guys are going to make is putting the belt that holds your blue jeans up, and trading that in for a white belt.
Well, they don't have to have a gi the first 10.
You're not required to have a uniform until you're a member.
Yeah,
and then for example, if you sign up today for a membership, you have 30 days from today's date to get your uniform.
Yeah,
But I understand time.
You sell those?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I could order whatever.
Or they can go get their own.
Yeah, or Amazon. Yeah. But you're not required to have a uniform until you're actually a member. So don't let that be the reason why you guys don't come in. Come in, t-shirt, shorts, water, have a good time. You're gonna learn some really cool techniques.
Be around a good bunch of dudes.
Yeah, man, amazing
people.
Yeah, amazing people.
I always say dudes, but people. Yep. So look him up, guys. All right. Hey, hit that subscribe button. Go see One Academy. See ya.
See ya.